All right, this feels a little awkward, this feels a little strange, a little uncomfortable. Because 12 months ago, I decided to take a break from social media, and I decided to take 40 days off of social media about 12 months ago for New Year's, and it turned into 12 months. So in this video, I want to share about how my life has drastically changed in these past 12 months from being off of social media. I'll share a little bit about how I was feeling before getting off of social media, how my life has changed, and hopefully if you are feeling the way that I was when I took this break, maybe inspire you to take some time away. Because I truly believe that social media, while an incredible tool and a way to connect with people and share wisdom and stories and encouragement and speak life into the world and share positivity, I also feel it can be a major distraction to our personal and our spiritual growth if we let it. So how was I feeling before taking this break? I have been a coach for the past 10 years, personal trainer, health coach, transformational coach, trauma-informed mental health practitioner, and social media has been an incredible tool for me to support others, for me to share stories and wisdom, and to motivate, inspire, and empower other people through the things that I would share, and the hundreds and hundreds of messages that I have received of how what I shared has changed people's lives has been really encouraging. And as a business owner, it has been the main source of where I would get clients from. So after years of this and seeing other people grow their brands and build businesses using social media, I became addicted to trying to figure out how to grow my brand and how to build an online presence, to the point where it took over my life. And there was this constant anxiety that I was feeling, that I wasn't doing enough. Even after I would have my morning gratitude practice and feel so grateful for my life and what I have and for what I'm doing, I would go on social media and I would see somebody else who's crushing it and doing $100,000 a month in their coaching business, and they're traveling the world, and then I would instantly feel like I wasn't doing enough. So no matter how much I was doing, no matter how much I felt like I was winning myself, there was always someone who was doing more. And every time I would go on social media, I would feel like I wasn't doing enough, and it would turn into motivation and inspiration to go do more. But it just built up this anxiety inside of me where I was no longer experiencing life as it was. I was experiencing it through the filter of my online presence and my brand. So, and even the experiences that I was having in my life were being filtered through, how can I make content out of this? Every time I would have an experience, if I would travel, if I would have some breakthrough, an internal revelation, I was always thinking about, how can I make content out of this? And while that can be a good thing, if it's distracting us from our internal work and our personal and spiritual growth, we need to check that. We need to check that. And I feel like God needed me to let go of social media at that time to just work on me without anybody else being a spectator to the work that I was doing. So around December 31st of last year, me and a group of friends decided to do a 40-day devotional of prayer and fasting. So every day we would meet on Zoom and we would pray and go through this reading and just connect and really read the Word of God together and pray together. And I decided during that time we were all letting go of something too, so I let go of social media during that time. And I thought it was just going to be 40 days, but at the end of those 40 days, I felt such a deep and powerful connection to God, and He just spoke to me. He said, "You're not ready." And it was scary because social media was not only my primary source of income, it was my primary source of significance. And that's where I really checked myself. I'm like, whoa, my identity is in the world and how other people perceive me. There was a thought like, if I'm not on social media, how am I going to stay relevant? And that was a scary thought to see, especially after some space, that my relevance and my significance and my identity was centered and founded, the foundation of it was in my social media presence. So God said, you need to stay off of this for longer. And I said, how long? And he said, I will let you know. And that turned into 12 months until today, where God really has been speaking to me that it's time. It's time to get back on. It's time to share. And the three ways that this has drastically changed my life. One, my relationship with God has never been stronger. My relationship with God has never been as deep and powerful as it is now. And for one, I stopped trusting and leaning on myself to provide for myself. I was so addicted to social media because I thought I needed to provide for myself. I needed to get clients. I needed to make money. So if I didn't have social media, how was I going to do that? And it was so beautiful to see the miracles and the doors that opened and the opportunities that came just through God's provision. Just through God's provision. The clients that would reach out for me to the past, the relationships that I would meet in person who would then become clients. And I am making more money today than I was back then. Not while being on social media, hours a day, creating content every day. I'm making more money today than I was before. And the depth of relationship that I have with God now, the way that I have been forced to surrender everything to Him and surrender my life to Him and my relationships to Him and my finances to Him, my future to Him, my career to Him. It's no longer for my glory. This is no longer the Josh Show. And before it was me building a brand to glorify myself, for me to build a brand, for me to become well-known and significant. And now the way that God has worked on me in every video that I'm going to create and everything that I do in my life and business and in this brand and in this platform is to glorify God and to, at the end of the day, just point people to Him, because He is the chain breaker. He is the miracle worker. He is the promise keeper. He is the one that will give you everything that you want. Peace, joy, purpose, love, everything that you need is found in God. And that is the greatest thing that has come from this time, is my relationship with God. And number two, and it's very much related, but 90% of my anxiety is non-existent. Most of my anxiety before was coming from this need to constantly keep up with the world. And everything was so fast. I was just moving so fast. I was seeing everybody else moving so fast and growing so fast, and hearing the Grant Cardones and the David Goggins and the Gary V's of the world who were doing so much. And while it's incredible and I love it, and maybe at some point in my life I will be doing that much, it wasn't my time. And I was constantly feeling like I wasn't doing enough, which was making me feel like I wasn't enough. And I was constantly anxious, feeling like there's more that I should be doing. And the amount of time that I was spending on my phone, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hours a day, and it just became way too much. And now the time that I spend on my phone is maybe 1 to 2 hours. And the peace that I have in my life is just unshakable. And that's primarily because of the relationship that I have with God. I truly believe that if God is the center of your life, you will not experience worry or fear or anxiety. But if something else takes the center point of your life, that is when anxiety and fear and uncertainty and worry starts to creep in. So getting off of social media has eliminated 90% of my anxiety. 10% is still there because I'm still human. I still have a flesh, and I still experience normal anxiety, as we all do. I don't know if we'll ever get rid of all of it. Jesus said, cast your anxieties on me because I care for you, and that is the difference. Now I have someone to lay it on and to support me through my anxiety, and not need to do it alone, and not need to distract myself on social media to deal with my anxiety. And lastly, my sense of significance and my sense of self-worth and who I am, my identity, is no longer founded in my brand. My significance and how much views I get and how much likes I get and how many comments I get has nothing to do with who I am. And again, this is all rooted in God, because I know who I am now because I know whose I am. And before, who I am was being filtered through how other people saw me. That if this video got a lot of likes, then I was good enough. Then I would feel happy and I would feel secure. And there would be days where I would post and it would get a lot of views, it would get a lot of likes, I would get a lot of comments, a lot of people would reach out to me. And that day, I would feel really good about myself. I would have a big chest, my shoulders would be back, I would feel confident in myself. But then a day that I posted something and then it didn't get any views, it didn't get any likes or comments, and then I would feel worthless. I would feel useless. So my identity and the sense of who I was constantly swaying up and down depending on how other people perceived me. So being off of social media has radically changed my life. Financially, I am better off. My relationships are better. Oh yeah, this is a fourth and a bonus one, but with the amount of time that I then had to not be on social media and answer everybody's messages all the time. That's another thing. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, all these different platforms, and WhatsApp, and our messages and our emails. We have constant people looking for our attention. And I was constantly on my phone trying to keep up with all these relationships, and I was just filled with anxiety with how do I keep up with all of this? And to be able to just have real relationships in real life with real human beings, heart to heart, face to face, looking at each other in the eyes. Man, these have been honestly the greatest 12 months of my life. And coming back on is a little scary because I don't want to get sucked back into it. But I'm just going to keep praying to God that every video that I do is for His glory, for the good of others, to just share authentically. And I don't care what other people might think about these videos. Maybe somewhere in the back of my mind it does, but I just bring myself right back to what is the real purpose and motivation behind this. And it's God. And as I continue to share videos, as I continue to share about my journey, my story, I still work as a coach, and I am feeling really inspired to support men and women who want to develop a closer relationship with God, whatever that means to you. Although in these past 12 months, I have truly surrendered my life to Jesus. And I never thought I would say that. I ran away from Jesus. I grew up in the church for most of my life, and at 16 years old became an atheist, and then was doing mushrooms and going to ayahuasca ceremonies and pulling tarot cards and going down this new age path. And eventually Jesus reached down and saved me from all of that. Although Jesus saved me, I'm not going to sit here being so arrogant to say that I have the answers. I believe God has the answers, and hopefully these videos just point you into really just leaning into God. And I believe God and the Holy Spirit will transform you and lead you to the truth. But ultimately, I am just here to share and to point at God and give Him the glory. So I am really excited to see what God continues to do through this channel, through this platform, and I'm just really excited. So much love. God bless you all. I look forward to being on here more, and hope you all have a beautiful day.